join me to tell me their story. We'll meet Laurie Schive, who is both a residential and commercial client, and hear about her story working with their team. Katharine Nevins is back to give us an update on new books for your reading pleasure and enlightenment. And Keith Coughlin from the new London Barn Playhouse will tell us about their balance of their season. Don't go away, because you won't want to miss these messages from some of the good businesses that keep YCN coming to you, your local view.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, coming to you this week from Loon Bakery, hosted by Old Hampshire Designs, a neighbor right across the street. And I'm now joined to one of our familiar friends here, Jay Tucker, the owner of Old Hampshire Designs. Hi, Jay.
Hello.
It's great to check in with you every so often and hear about all the things happening in the design and home world. But first of all, tell people, those viewers out there, about your business, Old Hampshire Designs.
So Old Hampshire Designs has been in business for 38 years.
Wow! So, congratulations to you.
As Amanda mentioned, the marathon, I'm right in the middle of it. So
keep running.
We've been in business for 38 years and have been located across the street for the last 28 years. So we've been quite a while.
Wow, fantastic. And what do you specialize in for people watching?
We do fine custom homes.
Yes.
That's whether it's designed by Old Hampshire Designs or it's designed by an architect, either locally or somewhere else.
Sure.
We've been able to take on any challenge that's been put forth to us so far. So.
But you have the resources to design it and then also see it executed to be created.
That's correct.
Yeah,
yeah.
Fantastic. Which is a unique option.
Design build is pretty special to have that ability. We have 2 in-house design people. So,
that is.
It keeps us going. But we also like to work with architects. So
yes. Tell us about some recent projects. I mean, talking about an architect that you worked with that wasn't in your firm. You just finished a big project that was cross time zones, quite honestly.
Yeah, we did a project up on Squam Lake, and the architect was Olson Kundig, who were, kind of a world-renowned architect, and we were fortunate enough to meet up with them through a local architect who recommended us. And it was an interesting project, a very contemporary home that took place all through COVID.
Wow.
So it took 3 years to build.
Yes.
And we're still waiting for a refrigerator 18 months later.
I mean, you bring up a good point. I mean, one of the challenges that we have all faced in many, many industries during COVID is the fact that there have been just delays amongst so many goods. And what are you experiencing still for not only labor, but also goods and building supplies?
So we're working our way through it.
Yes.
It's a lot better than it was, but when things get back to normal, I don't know. I don't even know what normal is anymore.
I know.
Maybe it's the new normal. But things like windows took 2 weeks to get, and then they took 26 weeks to get, and now maybe they're taking 6 weeks. So
right.
We're getting back to that.
You're seeing a little bit of a better change.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's getting, you have to order the windows before you design the house.
Yeah, you don't even have the design finished, but you gotta hurry to get the windows.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And a crucial part to designing the house, you need the windows.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
talk about your employee base, because you always seem to be very proud of your employee base, that you don't really have a lot of shortage in employees.
So we've been predominantly subcontract all our
Sure.
people out, and we've worked with some of them for 38 years. So we're very loyal to the guys that work for us,
Yeah.
and they're very loyal to us, so it's not like they're running out looking for other work as long as
Sure.
we can take care of them. The other thing that's kind of new about where we've been is that we actually have 5 young craftsmen that are working for us.
Great.
4 of them are out in the field doing finished work, framing work, and 1 is my son who's working in the design department, and my other son works in the field. So I have 2 of my kids working for
I
us.
love that. Keep it in the family, right?
We're trying.
What are some of the design trends now, halfway through, honestly, 2023? What are some of the design trends that you're seeing in home building?
I think that the last 10 years have been pretty consistent.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
You know, New England is New England, and people still want their house to look like it belongs in New
Sure.
England. I think the green building aspect has continues to expand, and the price of green building is, you know, part of what everybody has to consider. So it's ever changing, but I think that it's been some stability in the design over the last 10 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So tell us about Timberpeg.
So Timberpeg is a post and beam manufacturing company. They're located in Claremont, New Hampshire, and my association with them goes back far beyond even my own business. I actually worked for them as my first real job out of college. I was their production coordinator.
Fantastic.
And I have been selling their product for all this time. I'm an independent rep for them, and found that relationship to be very rewarding, and like to continue it for years to come.
If you were to guess, how many Timberpeg homes have you built?
Hundreds.
Oh, that's a fantastic number over 38 years. I love that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. If people are interested in learning more about Old Hampshire, or even some of the things you've talked about, green building, for example, what's the best way for people to get in touch
Best
with
way
you?
to find us is go on our website at oldhampshiredesigns.com, and there's pictures, it tells about us, and there's a contact sheet as well.
A beautiful website that you can see all your wonderful work at.
Well, thank you.
Jay, it's wonderful to touch base with you every so often and hear about all the trends happening, not only locally in the design world and the build world, but obviously you've done wonderful work to be in business for 38 years. So thank you for that, and also thank you for always hosting a YCN special.
Well, Abby, thank you for having us, and the Yankee Cable Network as well.
Thank you. What beautiful work from Old Hampshire Designs, and a team that is so easy to work with. When we come back, we'll hear from one of their residential and commercial clients that Old Hampshire Designs has worked with. But first, another community-minded business that underwrites our stories. We'll be right back.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. Learn more at wearebroadcasters.com/hope, furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
This program is supported by the Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, coming to you from Blue Loon Bakery. Luckily, we're not eating any pastries because we wouldn't get very far. But I'm now joined by one of the co-owners here, Laurie Schive. Thank you for joining us and for hosting us here. Tell us about Blue Loon Bakery and also your partnership with Old Hampshire Designs.
Oh, sure. Well, Blue Loon Bakery, we've been here. We just celebrated our 5th anniversary.
Congratulations. 5's a big deal.
It just feels like 40.
Yeah.
But it's great. We love being here. When we first moved to New London, we had bought a house here. We had worked with Old Hampshire actually to build our house.
Perfect.
It's wonderful, but we didn't want to just sit on our dock and just retire.
Yeah.
So I looked around, I thought, a small bakery. It's perfect for New London. We found the perfect spot here on Main Street. It's a wonderful old farmhouse, but it was a farmhouse, not a bakery. So
And you need a few things to run a bakery.
you need a few things,
Yeah.
and you need a great builder. So we walked across the street to Jay in Old Hampshire and said, come help us out and turn this into, in about 4 or 5 months, turned this into
Fantastic.
a small batch bakery.
You truly are a business that feels like it's always been here. I have to say. It's like, what was life like? I mean, I know this building's always been here. It's been here longer than the rest of us, but it really feels like you have just been part of this community for so long. So when you say 5 years, it's like, really? That's it?
Yeah. No,
I'm sure you don't feel that way, but we all do.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell us about Blue Loon, because with 5 years, you're making some changes. That's important for people to know about. You're still a bakery, but good to know about some of the changes you've made.
Sure. Yeah, so we have been here for 5 years, and we've changed during COVID. We sort of did a little bit of everything. We're proud to say we never closed during COVID.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah, but we want to make sure that we can stay here in the community. We want to make sure that we are sustainable and that we can focus to still be a gathering spot for those in town as well as visitors. So we've decided to go back to shorter opening days. So we're going to be open Thursday through Sunday.
Okay.
And we're going to focus on that bakery part of Blue Loon Bakery.
Okay.
So not as much of the made-to-order items, but we really are going to double down on learning some new techniques for breads, artisan breads, pastries. We're going to give our staff a little bit of slack in their day so that they can learn new skills. And we're hoping that that actually is going to attract new folks to come and work with us, learn those skills, develop as bakers, and whether they stay here or whether they go somewhere else, to feel like they've still been a part of this Blue Loon community.
Fantastic.
Plus, we got an espresso machine, which I know is important to you.
Great.
Abby.
We should have started with that.
We should have started with that. I'm sorry. My bad.
What else do you think we're all running on this summer is espresso? Yeah,
Exactly. Not on
absolutely.
sunshine.
Yeah, not on sunshine. It's got to be something else.
Yeah.
So that's one big new perk to talk about.
big new perk.
But the whole concept of what you can still get, the quality is still the same.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And right now we do about 1,300 croissants a week.
Wow.
Yeah, we expect we're probably going to be doing more of that.
Wow.
We want to do more with local grains and local suppliers, and to sort of spread our wings a little bit on the yeast side of developing new breads. It's all going to be still the same breads, the same pastries. We're
Sure.
still going to have our sandwiches here. Our staff is actually shrinking by half at the end of the summer.
Right.
So we want to make sure that we're still able to open our doors, have all those wonderful pastries and breads that people expect and love, have the delicious coffee from Wayfarer Coffee
Yes.
Roasters, and provide this gathering space.
You have a good time to plug employment. You have
yeah.
wonderful staff, but I'm sure you're always looking.
Always looking for
Yeah.
staff, and actually we have everyone from, I've got an amazing 14-year-old dishwasher to a couple of retirees in their 60s who wanted to still be active and get back into customer service.
Love
because
it.
They loved it.
Yes.
Or baking. It's a great chance to have a few hours a week, great hours, because we're closed by 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Sure.
And it's just really this wonderful team spirit that we have here.
Yeah, fantastic.
yeah.
So come on in and talk to you about employment if
Come
you're
on
interested.
in and talk about employment. Come on in and talk about breads. I am always willing to talk about breads and pastries. Yeah.
Before I let you go, I just want to highlight how much you do for our community, and I don't know if you'll let me talk about all the wonderful things that you do, but you really not only opened your doors and have made it feel like you've been here for so long, but you love to give back to your community. And I won't make you laundry list because we'd have to break it into a lot of segments of how many things that you do, but why is it important that Blue Loon gives back?
So it's important to us, again, to be part of the community. So our mission statement is to bake amazing breads and pastries, to be a gathering place for the local area, and to give to our community.
Crucial.
So we felt that being a business is a gift and an honor, and we want to be able to share that with others around, particularly in New London, but in the greater Sunapee area.
Fantastic.
So the one that we're most proud of is our collaboration with the Kearsarge Food Pantry.
Yes.
So we've committed to giving bread to them twice a week whenever they're open, as well as donations that we take, and we do some fundraising for them through the year.
Fantastic. Well, I just can't say enough of how often I see your name attached to some community organization. So 3 cheers to you, because I think it's fantastic. Laurie, always great to touch base with you. Congratulations on 5 years, but a lot of great changes happening, because you need to be here for 5 more years and a lot further than that.
We want to be here for as long as we can.
And
Thanks,
thank you for
Abby.
hosting us.
Thank you.
When it comes to vaping, the truth can get clouded.
So let's make it clear. Vaping is not safe for youth. because vaping can put microscopic particles into your lungs.
And dangerous things like metals into your body.
And nicotine, which can harm a person's brain development through their mid-20s.
With appealing flavors, high nicotine levels, and lots of promotion on social media.
Many kids think vaping is harmless, but it's not.
So talk to your kids about the risks of vaping.
Because when you talk, they hear you.
This program is supported by MainStreet BookEnds of Warner for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. MainStreet BookEnds of Warner.
Welcome back to this week's edition of Your Yankee Chronicle, presented by the community-minded business Old Hampshire Designs, Incorporated. I'm Abby Peel, your host. We are now joined at MainStreet BookEnds in Warner by the owner and bibliophile, Katharine Nevins. What's good and new for our book lovers, Katharine?
Thanks, Abby, and welcome back to MainStreet BookEnds. I wanted to tell you about the excitement with authors this summer. It's just kind of been over the top. And we've had some very exciting events happen here. And we have one that still hasn't happened yet. So I want to tell you, first of all, about Audie Rule, who was here on August 12th. One of my favorite writers. This is a young woman who has been writing books for middle grade readers for a while. She has 3 or 4 books that she's already put out. And we had the pleasure of being the launch party for her newest book, which is Nell and the Nether Beast. This is such a fun book. This is a little bit of a mystery. It's a little bit of magic. It's, of course, kids figure it out way before the grown-ups figure it out. And very, very fun. So we had, as we always do, an enormous amount of fun with Audie when she was here. And we have her books here, and I would recommend Nell and the Nether Beast for just a really fun summer read. And then coming up, we have Pamela Petro. Now, Pamela Petro is a well-known author. She actually teaches at Smith. She has a background. This is a book that she wrote a few years back about stories she collected traveling through the South. No opinions given, just the richness of the stories. And she collects stories. This is a book that she wrote. She has had a great deal of contact with whales over the years. And she wrote this book called The Long Field. She has been working in Wales. She set up a writing institute out in Wales. And last summer she had Warner's own David Elliott out there as one of the instructors for the Writing Institute. She has a very strong relationship with whales, and it means a great deal to her. She wrote this book called The Long Field. It was a bestseller in Wales, and it has to do, the long field is an expression which I cannot pronounce in Welsh, but it has to do with the longing for something that you know you've lost. And the long field means you can see it, it's still there, but it's still so far away. And all the feelings that go along with that. We all have that experience in our lives. She's written a beautiful, beautiful book. We had the pleasure of being the U.S. launch party for this book. And I'm super excited about this. Pamela Petro is marvelous. She's a great writer. David Elliott up here is got the blurb on the top. He's calling it a triumph. It was a finalist in Wales for the best book of the year. So Pamela's going to be here on Saturday, August 26th at 2 p.m. right here. I want to read for you. David Elliott has a quote on the back here. He says, "In soulful, richly nuanced language, Pam Petro takes us on an unforgettable journey through the rugged, unsubdued topography of one of the Celtic world's most evocative landscapes, Wales. That in itself is a deep pleasure, but it is the parallel journey through the hidden contours of the human heart that makes this book a triumph. Read The Long Field, you'll be happy that you did. That came from David Elliott. And there's another one back here from one of my favorite authors who also thinks this book is pretty amazing, and that's Ruth Ozeki. And she says, in her powerful memoir of Wales and poetic meditation on the Welsh language, Petro has given Americans the essential vocabulary to describe what is in our deepest heart. So this is an event you won't want to miss. It will be here in the gallery, August 26th. That's a Saturday, 2 o'clock. So please do come and meet Pam Petro. And she will be interviewed by David Elliott, by the way. So that's always fun. Okay, so thank you for coming to Warner to experience something wonderful is happening in Warner, and you need to come and find out.
Read on, friends. Up next, Keith Coughlin will give us a preview of the last 2 shows of the summer at the new London Barn Playhouse. So keep it tuned to YCN, your local view, after this message from another supporter of your Yankee Chronicle.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how, and we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids need to know the dangers and how to avoid them. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids, because when you talk, they hear you.
This program is supported by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, coming to you from the new London Barn Playhouse porch right here on Main Street. And I'm now joined by the Executive Artistic Director here, Keith Coughlin, for a little midsummer check-in to hear how things are going here. Hi, Keith.
Hi, Abby.
How's it going midway through the 91st summer season? I'm sure you are very busy.
It is always a busy time in the summer, but always incredibly exciting. Always wonderful to welcome folks to the porch, to feel that energy. It's a real tangible thing. I mean, this is a 200-year-old building that sits on Main Street and has been doing theater for 90 years. And so we're in the heart of our summer, and we are always excited to fill these spaces with patrons and entertain them within these walls of the barn.
Sure. It must feel so good when you have someone that comes on the porch and they said, we're only here for a few days, but we know we have to come to the barn, or someone who's experiencing it for the first time too. What a special thing to be able to always witness. It makes you realize all the hard work is worth it.
Well, and one of my favorite things that a patron shared with me one time was, we know it's summer in New London when the Barn Playhouse is performing, and so we have been performing, and we have been excited to welcome people. And we're glad to be not only hopefully a staple for people in the summer, but people who are finding us for the first time.
I know, always exciting. So after Beautiful, what's next?
Well, we're gonna take that "Rockin' the Barn" from Beautiful and Carole King music and continue that forward into a musical adaptation of The Wedding Singer.
Classic.
Rom-com, Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore. They made it into a musical. It's a throwback to the 80s.
Fun.
And it's just going to be riotously fun from start to finish. Music and dancing and so much fun for everyone.
Great.
And then we wrap up our 91st season with a piece called Lady Day at Emerson's Bar and Grill, which features one of the final performances of Billie Holiday at Emerson's Bar and Grill, and the music that we know of Billie Holiday, but also the real touching aspect of where she was at this point in time in her career.
Fantastic. And then there it is. That's the wrap of the 91st summer season. Can you believe it?
And onward we go.
Fantastic. We don't want to think about fall too early, but since I have you, talk about what people can expect now of year 2 of a 12-month New London Barn Playhouse, not physically in the barn, but in the new Fleming Center.
Well, we've been blessed by the support of the community for the construction project that has happened here. And it allows us now to have a 12-month facility in the Fleming Center for Artistic Development to continue to produce. We love the barn, and we love the barn in the summer, and that will never change. But we have this opportunity in this wonderful building that's just a couple doors down from the barn, in which we can have expansive education programs, classes, productions for both youth and older as well, and other performances, comedy nights, jazz quartets, other featured performances. We have some exciting things coming down the pike that are now allowing us not only to be an impact in the summer months in our community, but 12 months out of the year. And so if you've not been to the Fleming Center for Artistic Development, make sure to check out our website for what exciting things are coming in the fall and the spring. We continue to want to be a presence and an impact of the arts in our community.
Well, and it goes to show the Barn Playhouse in the summers for all ages, and now the Fleming Center's for all ages as well. And that must be really exciting.
It is. It's a exciting time at the barn, and especially as we experiment with things that we want to do within that space. And we hope to hear from you out there of what you're excited to see and things that we can produce within that space.
That's fantastic. Well, I know that you are very busy, so I'll let you get back to everyday life here at the Barn Playhouse. But Keith Coughlin, the Executive Artistic Director here at the Barn Playhouse, thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for being here, and we look forward to seeing people on the porch and beyond.
Yes. Thank you, Keith, and thanks for another great season. This is the last weekend of The Wedding Singer, so get your tickets while they last. Also, it has been a beautiful 3-week run, hitting a new record for the new London Barn Playhouse as the highest grossing show ever. The Barn Playhouse wants to thank everyone who came out to see the show and for all the amazing love and support from our patrons. Coming up next week, our Yankee Chronicle will again be presented by Old Hampshire Designs, where they offer a no-obligation initial review of your home project and lot site. Tune in to YCN's Game of the Week, featuring the best replays of high school sports from last year. This week, we'll have girls basketball featuring number 9 Guilford at number 8 Kearsarge. Games play Sundays and Mondays at noon and 7 p.m. on TDS channels 10, 13, and 13, NCTV 8, Roku, Apple TV, and for those that don't have cable, our YCNNow.com programming on demand anytime. Join us again next week as we're presented by Old Hampshire Designs for an all-new edition of Yankee Chronicle. I'm Abby Peel. Enjoy summer, everyone.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications. MainStreet BookEnds of Warner, for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. MainStreet BookEnds of Warner. The Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.